Jungle.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, friends. Welcome back to Football Gupshup. We are doing this new Manchester United FM 24 series with 24-25 season. As you know, the FM 25 news that it's being delayed until the next year, March 2025. So for that reason, what we're going to do is we got the new database where we have the updated rosters as well as the updated transfers for the 24-25 season, and for that reason we're going to do this on FM 24. So before we begin this Manchester United season 24-25 with Football Manager, please do subscribe to the channel, give a like as well, and let's begin today's episode. As you do know that Manchester United have been really struggling in real life. We have got some table lined up over here, which is this actual right now. I mean, United are really struggling this season under Erik ten Hag, and he's been under quite scrutiny from the media as well as the fans as well. But for some reason, why we are going to do this is because we're going to see in FM 24 that can we change Erik ten Hag's situation? Can we do that? And can we change the situation around? Can we see Manchester United actually winning some games? Looking at the table, 11th position, I mean, you can see United amongst the likes of Bournemouth, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, which is not a good side for a club like Manchester United to be in. I mean, they should have been in contention for at least top 6 or top 4 to qualify for the European competitions. And as far as we can see, it's not looking good. I mean, Newcastle United, Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton, Aston Villa, all of them are playing good. Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, of course, they're going to be in the contention for Premier League title race. So from looking that comparison, I think that United need to do better, and with 11 points out of 8 games, it's not that good. So let's see what can we do in order to help. We're going to have a look right now at the Premier League fixtures which are upcoming for United. As you can see on your screen, we have got West Ham United up next for Manchester United, then you got Chelsea, then you got Leicester City, then you got Ipswich. You also have the likes of Everton next, then Arsenal, and then you got Nottingham Forest, then Manchester City. I mean, it's a really tough thing for Erik ten Hag. I mean, in December you can see Arsenal, Manchester City, those are 2 tough games, and then at the end of December you can see Bournemouth, Wolves, then Newcastle United, and then Liverpool beginning of the year. I mean, it's going to be really tough for Erik ten Hag to get as many points as he can. So that is what we're going to do. So right now we're going to have a brief look at the statistics right now with United, and in order to do so, we are gonna see right over here, as you can see, Manchester United have played 4 games at home and 4 games away. As you can see, United have just won 2 games playing at home, and it's been really poor from United. Away, definitely, you know, it's always tough, but when you look at home form, it's not looking good for Erik ten Hag, and I think that he should have won at least 3 games, but for some reason he hasn't been able to. So 3 wins out of 8 games, whereas 3 losses. That is something which is really asking a lot of, I mean, hard questions for Erik ten Hag, that can he turn this Manchester United team? He's been back in summer transfer window, and for him to deliver now is much more in terms of, it's very urgent, and INEOS would want to get results as soon as they can, and they would have liked to have at least more points than we can see currently right now. I mean, just 3 wins and 2 draws, that comes around about 11 points. It's not a good return, and if he was able to at least have 1 loss and maybe more draws or more wins, then it would have favored him. He would have been up there alongside Newcastle United or maybe Tottenham. So anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at detailed statistics for Manchester United and see where the problem lies, and that is where we can learn from and see what we can change in the Football Manager tactics, or you could say the playing personnel going forward in this series. So that is what we're going to do. So let me get that detailed statistics right over here on your screen. And as you can see, I mean, it's a really look. I mean, it's just something that when you have a look at it, and then you tend to find out that there are more problems than solutions. Looking at the important statistics right now, as you can see, we have seen the wins, we have seen the draws, we have seen the losses. Now, for me, the most important point was looking at the number of shots and the number of goals per match. I mean, it's not looking good, and they're not scoring those many goals, and the strikers as well as the wingers, they're not performing good. Rashford is not good, Garnacho is not doing good, Amad Diallo, he did do some good, but then he also got injured. I mean, Højlund was injured at the beginning of the season, he's coming back into the side. It's not looking good for Anthony as well. I mean, it's his third season and he should have been able to turn this around, but so far we haven't seen any evidence for it. Now, for United, they need to turn this into a positive thing, because if they don't, we might see Erik ten Hag losing his job, and we might see Manchester United in much more trouble. Remember, they were linked to Tuchel, who is now an England manager. I mean, United, if they go into the manager market, we don't know who will they go for. Pochettino is managing the USA national team, so they haven't got those many managers. They have been linked to some of the managers, but looking at this current situation, if they can turn things around, maybe Erik ten Hag will be able to get something with the squad, and let's see if he can continue in his Manchester United career. Now, looking at the important elements over here in this detailed statistics that we are looking at, the number of goals that they've conceded at home is really alarming. I mean, they bought De Ligt, they bought Lenny Yoro, they bought Mazraoui. They need to do good, and we will work on that. We will look at that they need to improve defensively. Whereas in terms of goals, we're going to look at the tactics, what we can do in order to improve it. So hopefully you would have loved these detailed statistics before the beginning of this series. So what we're going to do now is we're going to continue. We're going to set this magic mode right now, and we'll get back as soon as it is set up. And then we're going to go through the tactics, then we're going to go through the squad, and then we'll talk about if we do want to get one or two more players. And I mean, I do know that without transfers, these kind of series do get boring, but we're going to work on that. We're going to have a detailed look at the squad and see what do we need, where can we work at least try to get one more personnel in, and then see where we can go with that. So we'll be right back with this setting up, and then we'll start away straight away. Right guys, as you can see on your screen, we have got the objectives over here, and we're going to look at them. Now, what the board is basically demanding is that we need to sign players under the age of 23 for the first team, sign players under the age of 23 for the future. That's what their preference is. Then looking at actionable objectives, work within payroll budget, of course, sign players to sell for profit. Okay. In terms of, you can see the bar over there for required and preferred. Preferred is kind of thing that you can and you cannot, whereas for required is it's a must that you need to be in that payroll budget, which they have basically explained. Now, looking at the informational objectives, maximum 1-year contract for players over the age of 32, 2-year contracts for the age of 30, minimum 4-year contract for the first year. So there it is. Now, looking at the main objective over here, 5-year plan, end of current season, we need to qualify for the UEFA Europa League. That is required. We need to qualify for UEFA Europa League, not for Conference League, but Europa League. So we need to get into those positions which they are asking of. Now, reach the latter stages of the Emirates FA Cup is preferred, so that's not a compulsion. Challenge for the UEFA Europa League, it's also kind of expected, but not of that importance. Be competitive in EFL Cup, that's what we're going to try with. Work towards developing the best youth system in the country. Okay, work towards developing the Premier League's best youth system. We'll look at that. Now, end of 24-25 season. Now, this is where it becomes. Now, remember guys, the date within FM with these updates, with this database update, basically they don't work on the dates. So when they say 24-25 season, what it means is 25-26. and when it says 25-26, it means it's 26-27. So hopefully there is no confusion for you guys in order to understand what they are asking of, in which year should we get those objectives. Now 25-26 objectives are basically qualify for the Champions League. So next season we have to qualify for the Champions League, work towards developing the best youth system in the country, develop the Premier League best youth system. Okay, now 26-27 season become recognized as the best of the rest. Now what does that mean? I think it basically means is we need to challenge for the title, we need to challenge in Champions League, and that's what it means. Football Gupshup's contract expires. Okay, so our contract expires in 26-27 season. Now at the end of 27-28 season, challenge for the Premier League title. So we have to get that Premier League title in 4 years time. Then in the 28-29 season, we have to win the Premier League at all costs. So that is what they said. So challenge for the title in 4 years time, win the Premier League in 5 years time, whereas we have to get into the Champions League in 2 years time. So that is what they're asking us of. So we need to do that, we need to get that, and hopefully we'll do that. So once again guys, I mean, it's a case of can we do it? Hopefully we'll be able to, and we'll be back with more updates. Right guys, as you can see, we have got the tactic board set up. Basically, as you know, at the beginning of the season we had some injuries in regards to such as Kobe Mainu, Malacia is injured as always, Luke Shaw is injured, Jadon Sancho is apparently at Chelsea, so that's not our issue. Amad Diallo and Hoyland, they're injured, so we've got lots of injuries over here, so we'll have to keep them in contention in terms of when they get back. Now in regards to looking at the team lineup right now, we have got Xerxes playing up front, we got Bruno right behind him, and then we got Anthony and Rashford on the wings. The reason I didn't bring in Garnacho because I want to use him on the left, and we'll see how Rashford will perform, and if he doesn't perform then we'll put Garnacho over there, and then Rashford can be on the bench. He could be used as a striker slash winger, so Rashford has that kind of ability where he can play on those two positions. Now looking at the midfield, we have got apparently Ugarte and Casemiro. Basically we have got Eriksen as well. Now the thing is, I did tell you guys that we might make 1 or 2 more additions in this team. Now looking at defense, we got Mazraoui, De Ligt, Maguire, remember we got Lenny Euro as well, Johnny Evans, we have got Victor Lindelof. Hopefully he's being wanted by Tottenham and AS Roma. Harry Maguire is being wanted as well from Chelsea and Tottenham, so hopefully one of those two clubs might come in for these two. Now for me the basic issue is the left back, because when you look at the injury list, Luke Shaw is injured, Malacia is injured, and I don't want to use Martinez in that left back position. I want him to play where Maguire is playing right now, so we might go in for a left back position. And as well as looking at the midfield, I mean, I'm not quite convinced with the likes of Eriksen. I mean, come on, I think he's past his best. We need to bring in a little bit better than him, and we need to bring in a creative player, because Casemiro and Ugarte, both of them are not creative players. Now for me, Casemiro is a player which was looking for a move away from Manchester United, but for some reason I think if Ugarte gets injured, then we haven't got a perfect defensive midfielder, so we're going to keep Casemiro for this season. And what we'll do is the season next, or maybe if we have someone who could come in as a replacement for Casemiro, if we can get that player, then we might move on Casemiro and he can go and join any other club which he want. I mean, we need a replacement for Ugarte as well, so we need 2 kind of defensive midfielders. We got Kobe Mainu coming in, we got Mason Mount. Although I'm not convinced with Mason Mount, I might look at him this season, and if he's not good enough, then we might move him on as well. Now we might bring in a midfielder, we might bring in a left back. As for the forwards, I think I don't think so right now in this moment we have got any player where we could target on the wings or even up front, because we got Hoyland coming back as well. Now looking at the schedule, if you can see, Crystal Palace coming up as the first game, then Wolves, then West Ham United. Hopefully, we will be able to get those wins. Now, what we're going to do is this: we're going to play against Crystal Palace and see how our team fare, and hopefully we can get that first win in this first episode. So hopefully you will like this episode 1, and then in the next episode we'll see if we can get some transfers in, and if we can get to play with Wolves and West Ham United, and then moving on to the transfer deadline day. So hopefully we will see how will this go. So let's begin the match against Crystal Palace in this few moments. Right guys, as you can see, we are finally into the match day, and you can see our team lineup right now. Xerxes playing up front, Rashford on the left, Fernandes and Anthony playing on the right. I mean, Amad Diallo, if he would have been fit, we would have chosen him, but it is what it is. Casemiro in that defensive role. I mean, I could have got in Kobe Mainoo in that position, but he's injured as well, so Casemiro will have to make do over there. Ugarte is going to be the one who kind of will play in that position. I could have brought in Eriksen, but I'm going to go with Ugarte. Let's give him his debut. Now Maguire is playing alongside De Ligt. Lisandro Martinez playing as the left back. Mazraoui getting his position as right back, and Onana in goal. Now looking at the opposition, Crystal Palace have got Nketiah, Eze, Kamada, Decore, Lerma, Mitchell, Munoz, Ward Holding, Guehi and Henderson. So we're going to put some pressing duties in for these players, because we need to be careful, because Crystal Palace, they're so good, and we can't give them any kind of room or any possibility where they are really trying to hurt our position, and we're gonna make sure that is the case. So let's see if we can do this. We're gonna also press the goalkeeper so he could make an error, and that is what we're going to do. Let's go to the team selection. We're gonna submit this team. Squad numbers will have to be given to 2 players in the squad. Now who those 2 are gonna be, right? These are basically some of the academy players. We're gonna give them some numbers over here in 68 and 69, because these are the academy players, so we don't have to have that kind of significance. So there you go. Right, let's see how can we do in this first game. Hopefully we're gonna have a good time playing this first match, beginning of the Premier League season. So let's start. We got some of these instructions. Right. Okay. Tunnel. Wonderful job. All right. Okay. So there you go. These are the team lineups for Crystal Palace, and now Manchester United team lineup coming up on your screens. So hopefully this is what we are looking into. So Crystal Palace are going to be hosting Manchester United, and the teams will be playing this game. So sorry guys for this induction, because as you know, this game tends to do that, giving us the whole experience, and hopefully that will be the case. We're gonna increase the speed, and let's see how will we do this. So far no shots, and our instructions are quite clear. We have to have a go at them. Maguire getting a yellow card straight away. Arsenal getting their first goal. Declan Rice scoring in the 8th minute. We are 11th in the league table. Bruno Fernandes puts it back. I mean, come on, he needs to. Ugarte is also on the yellow card as well. So 2 of our players are already on the yellow card. So that's quite lively. Once again, Crystal Palace holding the possession quite good. United struggling over there, as normally they do in real life. But anyway, United with 55% possession, which is a good sight to see. Passes completed 82%. 1 shots for each of the gloves, and once again Onana coming into action. Let me have a look at the instruction, and I think it's quite okay. Right now Anthony pushing that ball out. United once again almost on the ropes over here. So 21 minutes already being played in, nothing coming in for United. United need to get something over here. Ugarte once again on the ball, gives it to Lift, Casemiro, Martinez once again playing that into Ugarte, comes into Mazraoui, can he put in a cross, and there's a chance. So United with 2 shots, Crystal Palace with 3 shots so far, and once again we need to give in some shouts. Let's fire them up and see what can they respond with. Hopefully they can respond with some positivity. Casemiro not looking quite happy with the way things are going. Amadou Onana has scored for Aston Villa, Luis Diaz scoring for Liverpool, Joe Linton scoring for Newcastle United. So plenty of Premier League games taking place on the first day of the Premier League. They kick off, and Nketiah almost getting a clear run on Onana, but luckily it was defended quite good. Right now Mitchell from the left putting in a cross. Once again De Ligt coming into action, and they have scored a worldie. It's 30-yard shot. Crystal Palace taking the lead. I mean, looking at the replay, De Ligt gives it to Mazraoui, then clears it, and for some reason it drops to Lerma, and Lerma gives it to Decore. Decore goes with a volley and beats Onana from 30 yards. I mean, it's classic United. It's really not happening for them. Right, let me go to dressing room and say to them, go out there and give them fans their money worth. Let's have a look at tactic and see what is happening. I mean, things are not working and we need to do something over here. Maybe playing Casemiro a little bit forward. No, not as an AM, but almost as a CM, and see if that thing could work. Bringing in Anthony over here, and Rashford could stay up over there, maybe putting a little bit closer to each other. So let's start the second half and see if this thing can result in something. Once again ball being played in. Martinez with a brilliant tackle, but once again the ball goes out. I mean, United are really not being that effective. They need to put in a little bit more attacking. Eze with a shot, almost it was going in. Bernardo Silva scoring the second goal for City. Right now Mazraoui with a cross in. Ugarte, Rashford. Ugarte with a shot, saved, or did it go wide? I think it went wide. Right, can United do something? Demand more. We're gonna ask them to do more. Corner kick coming in for Crystal Palace. Should we make any changes? I think we should make some changes, and they've scored the second goal. So United, as usual, going for a loss, and it's not looking good. So we're gonna put Bruno Fernandes out of this, and who should we bring in? Should be Eriksen or Casemiro. I think Casemiro can play in this position, and we're gonna bring in Eriksen, and Rashford is doing okay. So what we can do is Rashford can play up front with Xerxes, and for Anthony, he's playing okay as well, and we can bring in Garnacho for Bruno and play him on the left and see if this formation works. Right now we need to make a change for Harry Maguire as well. I wouldn't want him to get a red card, so there you go, bringing Euro in for his debut, and I think that'll be it. So 3 changes coming in for Manchester United. So let's see what can we do over here. Rashford playing up front. Can United get something over here? Looks like we are losing some minutes. United need to get at least a goal back, and Martinez Euro. I wouldn't want to concede another goal with Palace. United getting a corner kick. Rashford is getting tired, and I mean, I haven't got any good forward who could play in that position. Maybe him, and we could change Anthony into Diego Dalot, and I think that'll be it. United losing the first game of the season, so not a good start to this Manchester United series for 24-25 season. 5 minutes stoppage time given, and we're going to bring it back to positive. Zirkzee unable to get something in this game, so a loss for United eventually, and not happy with the performance. We're going to go into the press conference. Not happy at all. Right, shocking, absolutely shocking. Well, that was grim, that is the truth. So United in 16th position, not looking good. Arsenal winning their game, Aston Villa as well, Chelsea winning the game as well, Newcastle United, City, Liverpool, business as usual. I mean, it's not looking good, and this is what Glasner has to say. I saw plenty of good things out there, and that's particularly satisfying. I mean, it's really, really poor. And it shows Crystal Palace will be the headlines, winning from Manchester United. So guys, this is what we have for our first episode. Hopefully you would have loved it. Didn't expect it to be this bad, but anyway, it is what it is. In next episode, we'll see if we can get some transfers in. We can see what kind of players we'll be targeting, and looking at the schedule, hopefully we will get those two games underway as well. Wolves on 19th, and then on 26th it will be West Ham United. So we got those two games, and then the transfer deadline day. So hopefully in the next episode we'll get those some transfers. We'll see some of our transfer targets. Hopefully I get the left back which I'm looking for, and I've got some players in my mind which I would really need to have a look at as well, trying to compare them and see if we can get them in good money, as well as if we can see if we can get another midfielder, and see if there's any other surprise name out there which we haven't looked at. So we'll do that, and then in the next episode hopefully we'll get to see what can we get. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching once again, and please do subscribe to Football Gupshup. Please do press the like button as well, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice one. Take care. Bye bye.
Jungle.